Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to Spiritual Beauty Ministry. This word actually was put on my heart, so still need to share it. As you can see, the word is not my baby, and it's about breaking a generational bondage. So I asked myself as I'm in the book of Exodus still. This is where God has had me for quite a while, and so I asked myself, I said, why was it so easy for Moses' mother to pretty much free her baby from the hands of the enemy? But when it came time for the other parents in the story of in the book of Exodus, it was so easy for them to place their baby in the hands of the enemy that knocked at their door. And so what came to me is that many of us are putting our children in the hands of the same enemy that has destroyed us. Like, so you're looking, okay, well, I didn't go to college, so I'm not gonna push my child ready to go to college. Or, I've been bound. My mama had welfare, my sister had it, and you're just looking at everybody that's, okay, so my child, they're gonna do the same thing. So it's like we're keeping our children in this same generational bondage of a mindset or a prison that we have accepted as our own. And we have to say, you know what, my child is not going to be what I was. My child is not going to go through what I went through. And so we have to understand that at the end of the day, we have to know that when we put, like Moses' mother, she fought and kept her baby from the hands of the enemy. She could have had a mindset and been like, you know what, since I'm bound, I'm a slave, I'm going to keep my baby a slave. I'm going to keep my baby bound. But she said, you know what, I'm bound and I'm a slave, but my baby is going to be set free. That's the mindset we have to have. We have to say, you know what? I know what has happened to me, but my child is not going to go through this. You know what? I feel like what she did different from everybody else is that she stood up, and she, even at the risk of her own life being taken up, anything could have happened, she stood up and she fought to keep her baby from the hands of the enemy, while the other parents, they just gave their child to the hands of the enemy and their baby was slaughtered. And it could be that maybe I'm like, I had to ask myself, why was it so easy for them to do that? And maybe their passion, I take in the sense of, when I say baby, our baby is our purpose, is our dreams, is our, the things that we are trying, who we're trying to become, those babies we're trying to nurture to blossom, things like that. And so, what if, like, a parent, okay, well, since I never got that, I never got the what it feel like to have a father, or I never received this, or I never received that. So because your flame has died, so you're willing to keep your child in the same darkness as you. And so you have to know, you know what, I have to go in, I have to give my child something different. And that's what Moses' mother did. She gave her child something different. And like I said, at the end of the day, we keep putting our babies in the same hands of the same health issues, the same, things that we've pretty much found ourselves in. And now we're pulling our children right along with us. Oh, well, oh yeah, I didn't go to college, so that's not really big. Oh, I didn't push myself to become all I can be, so I'm not gonna push you to become all that you can be. But that's what the enemy wants, because if the enemy can have you to kill your seed, if the MC, because you're killing your seed when you put your child in the same bondage that you faced, the same thing that you went through. That's why. So when you kill your seed, when a seed is killed, it's not able to reproduce. It's not able to reproduce. Just like homosexuality. Let's just call it what it is. So if we are dealing with homosexuality, two men can't make a baby. And it's just like the enemy. If the enemy can keep something from reproducing, then it will never become. So if I can have you to put your baby in my hands, and then I can destroy it because I destroyed you and I will destroy it, then in day it will not become. Because if God has placed an inheritance, or God has placed something in over your life to where you are supposed to be that thing, or you're supposed to receive that thing. But if you are not operating in who God has called you to become, and if you are not operating in it, then you are not having your children to operate in it, because you are not, you're not flowing in the effectiveness of who God has called you to be, then you can very well kill your seed. And your seed is the next generation. And so that's why I say it's easy to become a generational bondage, because at the end of the day, if we don't stop it, it's going to keep on repeating this. It's going to continue to be on a continuous cycle, We have to say at the end of the day, you know what? It stops right here. It stops with me. It's just like a person, Or I could see, I say a person that, who's went through molestation. And so they held on to their molestation. Then they child want them get molested. Going through molestation. Then they child get molested. And it's like, why is this a repeated cycle? Why is this thing, especially because this happened. I know this very well because this happened in my family. Why is this a repeated cycle? Why is this thing so common? Why does it keep on repeating generation after generation? Somebody had to step up, and it had to go, whether it was had to step up and say, what, no, it stops here. It had to come in the form of forgiveness. It had to come in, just taking back what was stolen. I'm not gonna allow what was stolen from me to be stolen from my child. So no, I am gonna do all I can do to protect my baby. And that's kind of that's like what Moses' mother did. Moses' mother, she protected, even though they knocked on her door, because like the Pharaoh had sent, like, basically, like you could say, policemen to the doors of the the Israelites, and it was like, go to each door, every firstborn son, kill him. And so think about it. Why did he want to kill the sons for? What are men able to do? A woman can't make a baby by herself, right? Men are able to reproduce. So a baby, if men are able to reproduce because of their semen and what they are, when they have, intercourse with a woman and they bind up, make a baby. A woman can't get pregnant by herself. She needs the help of her mate. She's the help of a man. And so at the end of the day, if I can stop what God has called to be placed in you from reproducing from you, then it will not become. And that's the enemy's game plan. And so if we continue to just allow the enemy to knock at our door, and we not giving up a fight, we saying, oh, you know what? Here you go. Because you know what? It didn't happen for me, so I know it ain't gonna happen for you. And so we're placing our children, we're placing our dreams, we're placing our goals in the hands of the enemy because of what we're looking at. Oh, well, you know what? It didn't happen for my mama. It didn't happen for her mama. It didn't happen for my mama's daddy. It didn't happen for grandmama. It didn't happen for, and so we're keeping this thing going. And they were like, it didn't happen for this thing, but it says, so you know what? No, the generational bondage stops here. It stops right here. So we need some Moses mothers to rise up and say, you know what? Not my baby. You're not finna take my baby. My baby is not finna be a statistic. My baby is not finna have to go through the same thing that I went through. I know that like Moses' mother, his mother was bound, but she said, at the end of the day, I may be bound, but my baby will be set free. I may be bound, but my baby will be set free. But what's happening is that many people are looking at, oh, well, since I'm bound, I'm gonna keep my children bound. So this is what I went through. Y'all gonna go through it. I didn't have a daddy. Yeah, I'm not really going to too much care about it if y'all have a daddy. I didn't have this. Y'all not gonna have this, and then so that mindset, oh, nobody pushed me to become my best. I'm not gonna push you to become your best. And so that spirit is just keep on feeding out the generation after generation. And it's just like God has put these seeds, and God said, I'm calling for these seeds to be watered. But how can these seeds be watered if you are continuing to keep putting the seeds, your seed, in the hands of an enemy that is trying to destroy what God is calling to become? That is trying to destroy what God is calling to become. So you have to know that God has put something in all of us, and he's calling for it to blossom. He's calling for it to produce. And if we are allowing it to stay limited, allowing it to be, you know what, well, I don't know if I can, if I can do this, because I remember I seen this happen to this person in my family. I don't know. It's like we have to push past the limits. In order to break generational bondage, we have to push past the limits. We have to not settle and say, okay, well, we got to stop settling for safe. We got to stop selling for safe. We got to stop selling for comfort. We have to know, because at the end of the day, yes, the enemy is after your generation. The enemy is after your generation. And if you allow the seed that God has called you to water to be placed in the hands of an enemy that cannot grow it, then that is how we are putting ourselves in generational bondage. Because all it's going to keep on being is a repeated cycle. Mama went through it. I went through it. My mama, daddy went through it. My mama's sister went through it. And it's going to keep on being a repeated cycle. And it's just like we have to know at the end of the day, when is enough? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Not my baby. This is my purpose. This is my purpose that God has called me to carry. This is my purpose that God said that your gift will make room for you. This is my purpose that God is saying is going to open doors for me. This is my purpose. Excuse me, Holy Spirit, lead me. This is my purpose. So at the end of the day, I'm not finna just put my purpose, my seed in the hands of anybody. In the hands of anybody. And it's just not going to be any and everybody can help you carry what God has placed in you. No, any and everybody can help you pretty much help what God has put in you to become its greater. It's like no, any and everybody. That's why you have to know who is helping you to birth what's in you. Who is helping you to birth what's in you? Who is your midwife? Just like going back to in the book of Exodus, there were midwives. And these midwives, the Pharaoh came to them and he was like, hey, when these babies come out, I want y'all to kill them. I want y'all to kill these babies before they even become. The midwives say, no, that's not finna happen. I'm not finna kill these babies. That's not gonna happen. So that's how the Pharaoh got mad. And since they didn't do that part, he went and knocked on the doors when the kids was born and said, okay, now I'm gonna just go and start killing them myself since y'all don't want to do it. But see, what you want is somebody that's gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna be your midwife. I'm gonna help you to become your best. I'm gonna help you to birth what God has put in you. I am gonna help you. You have to be very aware, very conscious of that. Do you have a midwife that's going to sit there and willing to kill what's in you? Or do you have a midwife that's going to say, you know what? No, you are better than this situation. You can become more than what you are settling for. This is not you. You need somebody, you know what? You got this. It's time to push. It's time to become. It's time to stop settling for safe. It is time to move. It is time to be all that you can be. You need a midwife that's going to help you to birth what God has put in you. Not a midwife that's going to sit there and allow the purpose to die in you because of what they are afraid of what may become. That was the whole reason why Pharaoh wanted to kill what was inside of the mothers at that time, was because he was afraid of what was going to rise up. He was afraid of what was going to come. So if I can kill the seed if I can kill the seed, then it will not become. And that's the whole point of what the enemy is out there. It's not you, it's what's in you. It's what's in you. So that if I said, let me keep you distracted with all the other stuff that's unnecessary, with like social media and certain things that's irrelevant. These reality shows. Let me keep your focus. Let me keep you from what you really supposed to be doing. Because if I can distract you with what's not for you, then you will never be able to rise to what is for you. Because I'm keeping you distracted with your issues. I'm keeping you distracted with depression. I'm keeping you distracted with ego. I'm keeping you distracted with all types of things so that you do not become your best, so that you do not become at all. Because the minute the enemy can keep you from becoming, you have already killed your seed. You have already killed your seed. And so what I'm here to tell you guys today is that you have to say, not my baby. And when I say you say not my baby, that goes for your children, that goes for the dreams, that goes for the goals, that goes for everything that you are called to receive. You have to say, not my baby. I'm not gonna let my dream die. I'm not gonna let this passion die. That goes for your health, that goes for your marriage. Not my baby. I'm not gonna let this die. Because what the enemy wants to do is that, remember, you seen your grandmother or your aunties or your cousin's marriage fail. You seen that, right? So I want the same thing to happen to you. You're gonna say, no, not my marriage, not my baby. Oh, remember that the health issues that your family dealt with, and it's been going on from generation to generation. I'm gonna have it to happen to you. And you're gonna say, no, not my health, that not my baby. And you're gonna keep on going. Oh, remember when your mother's mother didn't go to college, then your cousin didn't go to college, then the daddy didn't go to college, then you're gonna say, you know what, but not my baby. I am not going to settle for safe. I am not finna become generational abundance. I have a seed in me. And a seed that God has put in you is not just for you to get more money. It's not for you to get more likes. It's not for you to get more views. It's not even about you. It is what is in you. And when you are the seed that is in you, then God is able to blossom everything that is tied to you. So you have to know that you got to fight and say, not my baby. I'm not finna have my child. I'm not finna have my dreams. I'm not finna have my marriage. I'm not finna have my health. I'm not finna have what I seen happen before happened to my baby, not my baby. And I said, your baby is not, I said, yes, it's your children, but your baby is also everything that God has called you to become, not my baby. And you have to know that God is calling the you that you have yet to even rise up to stand up. It's time to take back your baby. It's time to be a fighter like Moses' mama was. She fought for her baby. She said, I know, enemy, that you are knocking at my door, but you will not come in. I know that you are knocking at my door, but you will not come in, because I am called to give birth to purpose. I am called to allow what God has put in me to become more than me. I am called to be somebody. And so, no, you're not finna take my baby. You are not finna kill my baby, because the enemy at that time, he went and killed all of these babies. And I'm like, why did they not fight? Why did they not fight for the whites? No, you have to kill me before you try to kill what's in me. Because in the day, I am called to birth something great, and I am not going to allow what I've seen happen in my family's family, what I've seen happen in my past. I am not finna be bound. I'm not finna keep my kids bound. I am going to rise above what I saw before that tried to keep me under. I am going to rise above it. And like I said, why was it so easy for them not to fight? Why did they not fight? Why were they so willing and to just say, here you go, just here you go? I understand that was fear, but you still gotta fight. You still gotta fight. I understand that it feels as though I don't know if I'm worthy or if I can have this to become what God is calling to be. But in the day, you still gotta fight, because in the day, God put it in you. Then He know what He's calling for. He know what He is calling for it to become, and He knows what He is wanting to birth from you. So if He put it in you, then He knows that it can birth from you. And when they chose to not fight, they put themselves back into a generational bondage. You didn't fight. You look at, okay, well, my mama didn't fight for me. My daddy didn't fight for me. I didn't fight for me. So why am I finna sit here and fight for the next, and fight for what? Fight for what's in me. And so you have to know that you have to fight. There is a seed. There's a purpose, a seed of purpose that God has put in you. And you have to allow God to ignite that flame within you and give birth to it. Give birth to that book. Give birth to that singing career. Give birth to becoming that Christian that God is calling you to. Give birth to being that mother that God is calling you to become. Give birth to it. You have to give birth to it. You can't just keep on sitting on it and just saying, you know what, I give up. Because the minute you give up, you are, like I said, you are killing your seed. The minute you give up, just like they did when they gave up, like Moses' mother, her seed is what God was able to work. God used what she was willing to save. You know what? I'm not finna put my hands in. I'm not gonna put my baby in the hands of this enemy. I'm not finna allow my baby to die. I know my passions may have died in me. My light may have died in me. My hope may have died in me. My reason to love may have died in me. Everything that I once knew may have died in me. But what I am not going to allow is I'm not going to allow it to die in you. That's what you need to say to our next generation. I'm not going to allow it to die in you. You are not going to be a statistic. You are going to be everything that I was not. You will become, and you will not be limited. You will not settle for safe. You will continue to become everything that God has called you to be. And that's what it is. And like I told you, if the enemy can kill your seed, then he can keep it from reproducing. If the enemy can kill your seed, he can keep it from reproducing. Because if you kill something that's called to grow, how can it reproduce? Think about it. If you kill something that is called to grow, how can it reproduce? It can't. It can't reproduce. So that's why you have to know, guys, even in those who are battling with homosexuality, I can't sugarcoat this. I can't, guys, because I have to state God's word. If you are a man and you are a man, if you're a woman, you are a woman, how can you reproduce? You can't. If God has put something, God has said, you know what? I'm calling for something to grow. I'm calling for this to come from you. But it's like, but in the day, when you keep yourself you keep yourself where you feel like this is all I know. This is who I am. This is where I am. At the end of the day, God can still help you to grow from that place. But you have to know that it cannot reproduce. It cannot reproduce because there is a seed. You have to connect with something in order for something to become. Like I said, when a woman and a man come together, then they are able to reproduce children. They are able to. So it's the same thing. So as they reproduce, that's our next generation. But if we keep ourselves in abounded place, how can our next generation even become? It's impossible. How can our next generation even become? You have to keep your mind realistic. God has put something in you, and if what you are keeping yourself in is you're keeping it from growing from you, then it's like you are in a generational bondage. Like you are in a place to where it's like you can't even move. It's like I want to be set free, but it's like you're this is what you're looking like. You're stuck, and it's like, God, I want you to be set free, but this is what you're keeping yourself in. This is what you're keeping yourself in. And so you have to know that God is calling you to reproduce. And if the enemy can keep you in lies, and if he can keep you in what you have accepted as your truth, he can keep you from reproducing. Because all I have to do is keep you living a lie. Then that means that you will not be open to reproducing what is truth, because I have kept you in a lie, and now this is what you accept. This is what you accept. Just like the people in the Moses, like this is what they said. This is they lie. They thought, well, I don't have a choice. I have to give my baby to the enemy. No, you had a choice, because you can still fight. You can still fight for your baby. You can still fight. But then they's like, you know what? They gave that baby away instead of doing Moses' mama did. You know what? I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to risk it all to save my purpose. I'm willing to risk it all to give birth to what God has called me to. I am willing to risk it all because there is something that God has placed in me that he has called to reproduce. You probably could be called to reproduce the next president, the next congressman, the next, the millionaire, the next whatever. But if you are stuck living in a lie, then how can it become? How can it become if we keep ourselves giving what God has put in us in the hands of our enemy? In the hands of our enemy. No, like I said, no, you're not my baby. I know they say that diabetes run in my family, but not my baby, not me. I know they said that, in a day, that this happened to my mother, not me. I know they said that this right here is something that I should expect because of what happened in my generation in the past, not me, not this generation. So you have to also speak to your children is your next generation. Your purpose is your next generation. The things that God has called you to go and do. That voice that God probably said, I want you to go be a gospel singer. I want you to use my voice for my God. How can I use what you have given me to serve your kingdom? Ask God that. God, how can I use what you have given me to serve your kingdom? God, I like rapping. Okay, God, how can I use my rapping to serve your kingdom? God, I like to sing. How can I use singing to serve your kingdom? God, I like to dance. How can I use dancing to serve your kingdom? God, I like to teach. I like to, I like to this. I like to that. How can I use what I love to serve your kingdom? When we're asking God, that we're basically saying, God, I'm not going to allow this to become anything that you have not called for it to become. So I'm only going to seek you on what you want this to become. God, what do you want me to do with this business idea? How do you want me to take it to the next level? How do you want me to take this vision to the next level? How do you want me to have this purpose, this seed that I have to become? How do you want me to do this, God? How do you want me to do this? And help me to grow this? Help me to grow this. So that is my word, guys, is at the end of the day, you have to know that there is a seed of purpose that God has placed in you. And if you keep it from growing because of what you have become so comfortable to living in, then it's like you will never become your best self. It's like when I look at before I got in God, I look at what I have and where I was, and I look at what I accepted as me. And it's like I was doing okay, but I was not my best me. I was not my best me until God awakened, certain gifts in me, certain things about myself that I didn't know, certain things that I've grown to accept as a lie, that God said, hey, this is not you. This is you right here. And then as I started operating in who God called me to be, I stopped accepting who I allowed myself to be. And then that's when I began to see reproducing. I began to see things started multiplying. I'm like, how is things started multiplying? Because it's like it started from a place of obedience, and it started to multiply itself. And it's like, okay, because you did this right here, this is gonna do this right here. So all this is opening up doors. Every door that God opens up for you is not just for you, it's for what's tied to you. And so when we can know that it's for what's tied to us, it should give us that bigger push. You know what? When my time comes to leave this earth, God, I want to make sure that I die empty. I want to make sure that I gave my best. I want to make sure that I didn't leave nothing in me. I didn't hold nothing back. I didn't keep fear carrying me, keeping me bound. I gave all of me. I gave everything to me. So everything from me. So when I allow you to use me fully and I don't hold back, and I say, God, I surrender and I give you all of me, and I don't hold back from what's inside of me, then it's like now my kids are going to feed on, are going to be able to reap and eat on the very fruit and the prayers that I stored up from when I was on my knees praying to God, and from the things that I did because of obedience. And it's like God is going to make it happen for my children's children. And so it's all tied to what you do now. What you do now is either gonna set up and catapult your generation to the next level, or it's gonna bound your generation from moving to the next level. So if you want your generation of your kids, and the things, whatever, all those things, you to become its best, to become, something that you didn't even that you didn't even receive. Just like Moses let the people let them out of Egypt, but God only allowed him to lead them so far. But then God rose up another generation, and then he said, now, Joshua, you are able to lead them to the promised land. See, all because of everything, the obedience and the things that Moses, his seed, and then Abraham's seed, and then everything that everybody else was doing that was obedient to God's leading, and they're operating in the will of God, in the ways of God, and they're, God, I won't do it without you type of mindset. And it's like they set up, it's like you're storing up blessings, and you're storing up doors of opportunity for your children's children, all because you refuse to say, not my baby. All because you refuse to say, I am not finna be another statistic. I am not me. Not me. It's not gonna happen. Not my baby. You can try to knock me. You can try to knock me down. You can try to, take away my keys from what's for me. But in a day, you cannot take my baby, because my baby is my greater. My baby is my purpose. My baby is my dream. My baby is my goals. My baby is my children. These are my babies. And so you're not going to take these things. If you take these things from me, then it's going to keep what God is calling to be reproducing in the next generation. So this is all this is about, guys. Everything that we do right now, we are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to have the mindset of, I am doing this for my next generation. I am doing this, just like my short film I did was Wake Up. That short film Wake Up was based upon the next generation. So what you choose to stay in, either you can keep your generation bound, or you can say, you know what, I'm not gonna keep on staying in the same place, and you can set them free. Because the minute you get set free, and you set free everything that's tied to you. Everything that's tied to you going to be set free, all because of what you were willing not to become a slave to and stay in. And like I said with Moses' mom, like I said, have that fight in you like Moses' mama had. Moses' mama had a fight in her that was so strong. She said, not my baby. You can knock on my door, but you're not going to kill my baby. And take that into English. You can knock on my door, devil, but you're not going to take my purpose. You can knock on my door, devil, but you're not going to take my children. You can knock on my door, devil, but you're not going to take my dreams. You can knock on my door, devil, but you're not going to take away the business that I'm going to have. Devil, you can knock on my door, but you're not going to take away my singing. You're not going to take away my voice. You're not going to take away my passion. You're not going to take away my light. You can knock on my door, but you are not going to kill what God has called to live inside of me. And when I allow what God has called to live inside of me, then I am allowing what God has put inside of me to grow and become something amazing and beautiful. Just look at what God has put inside of you as like a flower. You keep on watering, so it's going to keep on becoming more beautiful, becoming something that you never knew it could become. All because you did not allow it to be, you did not allow the enemy to take it and kill it. And another thing to how the enemy also kills God's purpose, guys, is he can kill it when when you go through something and then you find yourself in a dark place and you just like, you know what, I'm just, all hope in me is gone. I'm done fighting. I give up. And then you just stop trying. You just stop fighting. That's when you also can, like, he can also come in and he can also try to kill your purpose in you. So you have to know it does not matter who you are. It does not matter where you are. God still has a purpose in you. He is not calling you to be perfect, but he is calling you to submit to his obedience so that he can grow you to become who he's called you to become. And so that which is in you can begin to grow from you. And you can begin to see the multiplying of what God has for you happening in your life. And even after you leave, your children are still eating on things that you stored up, obedience that you stored up, prayers that you stored up. Your children are still eating on those blessings because you stored these things up. And God is looking at just like with Abraham, because of what Abraham did, he set his generation up for a lifetime. Because he was willing to sacrifice, and it says, God says obedience is greater than sacrifice, but because you're willing to trust me with your son, you're willing to trust me, I am now going to multiply. I'm going to multiply such greatness in your life that it's going to be an overflow. It's going to be an overflow, and it's going to overflow for generations to come. So guys, don't allow what God has put in you to die in you. Don't put your purpose in the hands of the same enemy don't put your purpose in the same hands of the same enemy that took your mama or that took your daddy or that had your big mama bound. Don't put your purpose in the same hands of that same enemy. You are called for more. You are called for more. So don't put your hands in that. Don't put what God has given you in the hands of that same enemy that wants to destroy those that were tied to you. You have to break the generational bondage. You have to say, not my baby. All right, you guys be blessed, and just let God speak to you on what that thing is that maybe you have placed in the hands of the enemy that he is saying it is time to take it back. It is time to take it back. All right, you guys be blessed, and just allow God to continue to just speak to you in those quiet moments alone. Give him that unhurried time. Don't just give him time on Sundays. Give him time throughout the week. Give him, when you first wake up, the first thing that he should get is you. Not Instagram shouldn't get you. Facebook shouldn't get you. The first thing that should get you is the presence of God. And just giving him that, that devotional. You go on Google, find a devotional. Joyce Meyer has a devotional. In Touch Ministry has a devotional. Tony Evans has a podcast that is amazing. Make it happen. Take the steps. Don't keep putting your hands in the same enemy that destroyed your generations before. You have the power and the strength in the fight to stop it right now. All right, you guys be blessed, and may God continue to lead you. All right, and remember, God's before all things, and in him all things hold together, even when it seems like it's falling apart. You guys be blessed.